Okay, out of curiosity, I would like to know what they do a lot of mistake. Have you noticed it? Like, yes, hello, hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. What about you? How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for asking. Just a long day. Great. Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah, did you have any time to go through the topic for today?
No, I haven't gone to the topic. I think it is a no, I haven't gone to the topic. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, that's okay. So, we have only a one-word topic today. It's called if. Right. So, if as in we'll have some prompts, I'll be giving you some prompts, what if situations, right? And you can just answer spontaneously whatever comes to your mind, right? So that's the topic that we have today. Quite an interesting one. I think you can come up with a lot of creative answers in this.
Okay.
So, yeah, so the first thing that I would like to ask you is if humans lost the ability to see all color except one, right? Which color would you want to survive on? What do you think?
Can you repeat your question, please?
Sure. So, if humans lost the ability to see all color except one color, okay, which color would you want to survive on? Which color would you want to, remain?
I would like to go for blue,
Okay,
blue
and
color,
why so?
because it is my favorite color. That's why.
Okay, so will it be fun for you to see everything that you see in blue color? Every every single
Okay.
thing. Will it be fun for
Yeah.
you? I mean, because you're choosing blue color and that's the only color
Yes.
you'll be able to see, or anyone will be able to see, actually. So, how do you think that will work? Will you be fine with that?
Yeah. Yeah. You were saying that like every color, if I see anywhere, so I will see it is a blue.
Hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, so if I will see the human, so that color also it would be blue.
Hmm. Yeah. Anything that you see. So, in the world, there will be no other color that you will be able to see except blue. That's it. So how will
Okay.
that work for you? Will that be fine?
Yeah. So like I will. I don't know like what I would do at that time. Yeah, I don't know. Like
Okay.
yeah.
No, that's yeah, that's okay. That's a weird
What would you?
situation to be in.
Absolutely. So what color would you
Yeah.
choose?
I would just choose black. I don't mind
Okay.
seeing black everywhere.
Why?
Yeah. Just I think because black is clearly a color that I really like. So also before like the even the movies and everything, I think black and white is the best color choice that can ever come off. So I think black is something that will be fine. Everything will be black, and every person, every color that I can see will be black, and that's I think something that I would love to do, or I would love to see a world like that where everything is just black and everyone can just
Okay.
see
You
black.
want to see. You want to see the all the thing in black.
Yeah, yeah, I
Then
don't mind
how?
that. Yeah, I don't
And then
care.
how would you manage then? Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if that ever happens, then we can see how would I manage. But I mean, it
Yeah.
how I don't think it will be very different anyway because it's just the ability of seeing color, right? So, for example, my glasses or a notebook or anything, a T-shirt. So, if I see that, it'll
Hmm.
be black in color, and that's it. So, I don't think that will make much of a difference, especially when you don't know any other color. You only know one color, then
Okay.
you're not aware of anything else. So, I think that's okay. One color will be fine. That will be my reality. So I think I'll be fine with that.
All right.
Great.
All right. So yeah.
Yeah. So
So like I want to know about little bit about you like because it is our first conversation with you. So I would like to know about little bit. Can you introduce yourself little bit only?
so yeah, so I've so you can see my name on the screen, I think, which is
Yeah,
Bhavika.
Bhavik.
So yeah,
Yes.
that's my name. And I've been doing this for a while now. I've been doing this for 4 or 5 months. I think I've been on this platform for 4 or 5 months. And
All right.
I live in Bangalore. And I think, yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So like in like you joined and like 5 months ago. So what is the funniest mistake have you noticed is like the student do?
Shouldn't do. Okay. But I think this is your session. It's not mine. So we'll go with,
No, I'm
that
just
because,
like I would like to have you noticed it
because
like maybe you
hmm,
have taken a lots of learner like they come here they
definitely.
talk
Hmm.
with you. So what the mistake have you noticed about him? Any another
I think
any like
I don't really,
pronunciation or like grammar
yeah,
or
yeah.
something? Yeah. Mhm.
For me, it's not really funny, honestly, because I have to work with the person to, help them make it better and help them improve it. So
Okay.
I don't think it's really funny when it comes to that. But yeah, I think I help people out with that. So that's a job that I have to kind of follow through. So I don't really find that funny. That's just a job for me. So I don't think there's any funny incident that I have like that has happened with
Okay.
me or that I've come across. So yeah, that's just
Okay.
how it is.
So
I guess
like
it's
I would
just a
like to know
job.
like okay, out of curiosity, I would like to know what they do a lot of mistake. Have you noticed it? Like
I think there's also this is one of the things that I noticed about when you were giving the answer, which is the filler word like, right? So a lot of people use the word like because that's the thing that is going on right now. People use that a lot in
Mhm.
conversations, especially when it comes to informal conversations that they're having with their friends or family or anything. This comes up a lot, and it doesn't really help with sentences or it doesn't really help with the
Yeah.
context because even if you don't use it, it's going to be the same, right? So it has become a filler word. So that is something that I come across a lot, I feel. I think a lot of people do
Okay.
that. Yeah,
All right.
especially people who are young because that's the slang for young people. So
Yeah.
they do that a lot. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think that's it.
so
Yeah.
how we can like
Mm.
we can like feel the feeler like during the conversation like how to so we should not use the like in the conversation or sometimes we
So
use like yeah also we use and during the conversation as a filler. So yeah,
yeah.
what is the
So
alternative?
So fillers are you don't have an alternative for filler. The alternative for filler is don't use it and instead of that use the whole sentence, right? So
Okay.
if you kind of frame the whole sentence properly, you don't need to use the filler. And that's the whole point of it. That is why it's called a filler word. Because when you say filler, it's something that is used when you can't think of a better word, when you can't think of something to say, when you have that little pause in your head for a second, maybe for a microsecond, maybe, and then you use like. And not just like, I think there are different words that people use. Some people use only at the end of every sentence, and only is never used at the end of a sentence, right? So that's a filler word that people use. So until and unless absolutely required, filler words are not encouraged, especially when it comes to formal settings. And formal settings can also be a classroom. So it can also be college, or it can also be school, or it can also be an office meeting or anything. Right. So that is something that you don't really need to use. For example, I use the word right a lot. Right. But that I do
Okay.
because I have to understand what the other person is saying or if the other person understands it or not. So I have to use it after I have explained something or I'm done explaining something. So then that's okay because then it's not a filler word. You're just using that word a lot because you want the other person to understand it. But a filler word acts completely differently. It's not required in a sentence. It's not needed in a sentence, but it's still there. So it's a thing that's not needed and it just fits somewhere because you want it to fit, right? So that's how fillers work
Yes.
usually and filler words work. So I think, yeah, that is something that I've come across a lot, and that is something that you can also take care of. And there's no alternative to it. The alternative to it is that you speak the whole sentence, frame the sentence perfectly, and don't use a
Okay.
filler because it just doesn't
Hmm.
make a difference. It's fine if you don't use it, right?
All
So I'll
right.
just ask one more question of the
Yeah,
prompt that we
please.
have. Right. Now, so if you could be born at a different time period, when would you want to be born in? Any time period with any person or anything that you associate that time period with.
So I would like I would I want to like okay, so I would like to like how to say like it is an imagination question. Yeah, like it is a hypothetical question. So if I would give the answer, so I have to use I would. Should I say
Yeah.
I would?
Yeah, because it's hypothetical, we'll always use future tense. So it will either be I would, I will, something like that, but future tense always.
Okay. So I would
Yeah.
like to born in 1980. Yeah,
Hmm.
like
Okay.
because of I wanted to see the like at that time like people how they survive and what the problem they face. I think at that time problem less. I think because
Hmm.
yeah, because they don't uh, they would not go for the money. They don't run too much about the money, and
Yeah.
they too much care about the person. So that's the reason I think.
Yeah.
They think about the
Yeah,
woman.
that's true.
Like, yeah, they think about the woman. Yeah, I mean to say. So yeah, that's why I
Hmm.
want to go the like before maybe 30 and 40 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's great. But 1980 was like way back, I think. But yeah, I think that was but I think everyone thinks that, the past is a better time. But maybe if you meet someone from 1980, that person might like to be, born in some
Yeah.
other time period and go before and think that history was much better. But I think, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if that is something that you would want to do, definitely that's a good answer, I feel.
Yes.
Great.
Absolutely. So
So just a few
I
things
have one
here
more
and there.
question. Can I ask? Mhm.
I just want to point out a few things and then maybe,
Please, please.
yeah. So, a few things that I would like to point out are the first is you said that I would like to born in 1980, right? So here a preposition is missing. So the sentence will be something like I would like to be born in 1980, right? Something like that. So be is something that was missing that we require, which is a preposition. So do you know how prepositions work usually?
Yeah, usually preposition used for I think to if you want like sometime we use for the there are some preposition like on, for, and in,
Yes.
at. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So,
yes.
yeah, you
So
always use these to describe the
so
position of the subject, right? So in this
okay,
case, it is born in 1980, right? That's our subject of the sentence. So we have to,
okay,
and because it's called preposition, so it's preposition. So we have to add it before the subject, right? So that is why we do that. So it will be, I would like to be born in 1980. So the sentence will look something like this, right? So now
okay. So
that is
one
one
more
thing.
thing, one thing, man. Yeah, one thing. Sorry, I cut you. Like, can you tell
Yeah.
me the be? It is a preposition here. You
Yeah,
have
be is
mentioned
the
I would like to
preposition.
be born in. So what
Yeah, I
was
would like
in?
to.
What about in?
In is also a preposition, but then again, we have to use that because we are describing the time, right? So 1980 is a time period, right? When you say like to be born. Born is the subject for the preposition be, and in is the preposition for 1980. So because we have two things here that are going on, we will use two prepositions in this case, and always before the subject. Right? In is also a
So
preposition here. So we'll use
okay,
two.
I thought like I would like to be born in 1980. So I think B is it is a state of being. I think.
Yeah, so
I'm
be
not sure.
born. Yeah, that's exactly. But I mean, it's usually
But you
not
have said that
used.
B is also preposition. Yeah, you said that
Be
B
is
is
a
preposition.
preposition. Be it works like a preposition. It's always it will be like this. It would be like this. I would want to do this. Want is also a preposition again. So there are different prepositions. Be is not the state of being as in actual state of being. Be is used
But here
always with.
I meant to say here why we are using here. I would like to be born in 1980. So here why I'm using B here. It is B. Is it B state of being or here is it B preposition? That I wanted to
It's
know.
a preposition. It's not a state of being. State of being, be is very different, and the context will differ when that's the case, right? So, for example, if you say to be, I just want to be. something like that. So that means that, you should just leave me alone. I just want to exist. I just want to be. So then that is a state of being, because the context is very different. But be, the word be will always still be a preposition, right? So it will be used like that too. So the context is something that
Okay.
differs, but be always remains a preposition. That's going to be
Okay.
a thing,
So,
right?
okay. So in this statement, be and in both are in like preposition.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would
Both are
like to be born
prepositions.
in 1980. All right. Yeah, that I
Yes.
wanted to
Yeah.
know. Yes. All right.
Okay. Yeah, great. So that was just one thing,
Yeah.
and I think the other thing that I wanted to point out was you said they don't learn too much about too much money, right? When you were talking about the people in 1980. Now here, instead of saying they don't, because don't, when you say don't, it becomes present tense, right? But we're talking about a
Okay. Yes.
past tense. So here, instead of saying they don't learn a lot about money, something like that. So, hello.
Yeah. Sorry. Like your voice is not coming proper. Yeah. I yeah. Now I think it's okay.
Yeah, okay, great. So the thing that I was saying is they don't learn about too much money is not correct, because we're not talking about present tense. We're talking about a past time, right? So
Past tense.
it'll be they didn't learn or they didn't care too much about money, something like that. So just make
Yeah.
sure that you use didn't instead of don't, because we're talking about past tense, right? So just these two things I wanted to point out.
But
So
here,
I think,
okay, here I like it is a hypothetical question. So also like here, the
hmm,
how I narrated. So I have to use I have to also use like past tense
hmm,
also.
yeah,
Like they
because
didn't have
it's a
much
high,
money.
yeah.
I mean to say they didn't think too much about money.
Hmm, yeah.
That is the right sentence. Or they would not have an they would not think too much money. What should I
No,
say?
it should be they didn't learn or they didn't care about too much money, right? Because
Okay.
here, when we are responding to a hypothetical situation in a hypothetical way, for example, I would like to do this. You have not done this before. This has not happened before. Then we'll use future tense. But now, since we are talking about people in the 1980s, we have transitioned to that. So because we are talking about something that has already happened, we have to use past tense there. So here it will be they didn't learn about money because we are talking about a specific time period which was in the past. So we now know that this has already happened. So because we use future tense when we don't really know what is going to happen. That is how hypothetical situation and hypothetical reactions work, right?
All
So
right.
yeah, that will be one thing. So I think to sum it up, I would like you to focus on firstly not using fillers
Yeah.
too much, which is like in your case.